on the pod?
Yeah. Let's go on the pod.
Okay. One, clap. 1, 2. Welcome to the Friendlyjordies Podcast. We're back after a week off. Where Miss Love and Jordan both were in Perth, and I had COVID. My COVID was pretty mild, before you ask, and their experience of Perth was really good. If you want to know more about it, sign up to Patreon and check out the pre-show, because that's what we were talking about.
Oh, what a sell!
Is that on the is that on the Patreon? The pre-shows?
Yeah, the pre-show's always on the Patreon.
Dang!
Now, can we start off our pod
Did you know
with
that?
some gift openings?
Oh
Miss
shit!
Love behind you.
Oh
Can
my
you pass
god!
those to
Yeah. Let's
Jordan?
do it. You know what? I'll tell the Perth story in the up late. I'll keep it for that, unless you want me to. But that is quite funny.
Oh, the one that gets a little blue.
What?
Okay. Well,
No, I'll just tell you now. Then.
it's saucy for me.
No, I'll tell you. It doesn't get blue, but Ali, check this out. We were hanging out with someone. This is Perth. We were at the pub. Shout out the Rosemount Hotel in North Perth. Yeah. Saw UMI there for
Don't
free.
swear.
Heck yes. I was sitting at the table and there was a girl passed out like this. And the whole time she's passed out, like in someone's lap, basically. We're talking. And you know, there's 4 of us at the table. And then out of nowhere, you know, she just goes like this. She just sticks her head up to the table and just goes, bleh, onto the table. And then like, ugh, so gross. Just kept going. And
Twice.
Do you have that?
He's still going for it.
it was so chunky.
Oh my god! Look, he's going to go for it.
It was
himself.
really chunky.
Chunky.
What's she eating? Anyway,
Holy
it was
shit,
fucked.
how empathetic is that man?
It was so
You're
fucked.
going to throw up from someone else throwing up 4 days ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was-
recounting a story of someone throwing up.
Ugh, it was horrible. But yeah,
About
so
that gag reflex.
it was bad. But Perth was sick, and I think that was more or less all the shenanigans.
Well, we'll discuss
Yeah,
more
right.
of it on
So
the-
in 10 days, we saw someone throw up.
Pretty much, a lot of good delis. That North Store one in Cottesloe, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's open
I guess.
these gifts.
All right, let's do that.
So this came
Oh, shit.
from
I
the
know it.
US of A. Can you read out who sent it to us?
I think I know what this
I
is.
could, but I want to see what's inside.
think I know.
Joel Creasy sent us something. No.
I think I know what this is.
Well, the guy on Nova in the afternoon. I didn't know he
is this
lived in
for
the
you?
US.
It's not for me. It's for all of us. But we're supposed to shout it out. So hopefully I can remember what it's called. If it's what I think it is. How's that?
That's awesome. Thank you for using our platform to advertise your wares, sir.
Yes, I said.
Oh, he's got a brand called Darts Clothing. I hope that means.
Oh,
what
there
it
you go.
means.
I think
Doesn't mean what it means there, does it?
no, but open
Darts
it up.
is a game
Open it
there.
up.
Wait, how? What, we've got our own shirts to sell.
No, but look. Yes, this is it. Look. Point it. Oh, great. Point it to the
Who
camera.
is that?
Point it to the camera.
Who's that?
I don't know. Wait, this way, Ollie. It's fucking Elbow.
Oh, it's Elbow.
It's Elbow. Yeah, so they said, they said we'll send you some Elbow merch. What are they called? Darts clothing.
What was that?
Shout out.
No, I'm scared.
I'm scared
But that's
too.
a lovely shirt. Thank you very much.
You didn't ask who it was?
Nah.
The door's unlocked. All right, this might be the end.
Well, I think we all, because the people enjoyed the up late so much, it looks like Gabe is a surprise guest on the actual podcast.
One person did want Gabe back.
Well, that's a great strike rate. All right, and we got another
Yeah.
shirt.
Fuck yeah. It's one each. We got one each.
Oh, is that what it is? So
Yeah.
I don't need to bother opening
No,
up
I think
this
one might be different.
All right, well, let's just find out, shall we? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah,
Let's find out.
This has been a long time
Is
coming.
the third one a different design? The answer is no. But nonetheless,
Thank you.
just to make sure that we didn't kill each other over who got what.
Yeah, thank you
We all
very
get
much.
one. Thank you very much.
Darts, is it?
All the way
Darts.
from the US of A. That's lovely.
I think they're not from the USA. No, he
Well, it says
manufactured.
U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah, I think they manufacture them there, but
Oh, okay.
And so somebody from Stockton Avenue.
Hey, that's our PO box address.
Well, it's kind of right.
shit, more
To
shirts.
FJ team from sender, an artist on Redbubble.
Oh my god.
Guy.
Jesus.
Visit Engadine.
Wait. Go point at the thing.
This is a Scott Morrison shirt that says Visit Engadine.
It's so good I shit myself. Not bad.
That's very graphic.
What about the other side?
Okay.
Is this also from Darts Clothing?
Is this more Darts clothing? And they only gave us 2.
What the fuck?
This red bubble artist he wants us to fight over them. Okay.
Fuck. No fair.
Oh man. It's like Scott Morrison's handling of the GST between the states. There's not enough to go around.
How weird
Man.
are our lives? People just sending us these very weird, specific niche shirts.
To be fair, everyone's
Thank you
sending
so
us-
much for sending all
Thank
of
you.
those
Thanks,
things, though,
guys.
because it's always so nice.
It's really
They're
nice.
sending
You know
us
what I
the
like the
exact
most? The
same thing.
letters.
They literally are sending the exact same thing.
Is this red bubble artist the same one? There's no time to find out. We're just going to have to improvise here,
Yeah, I
boys.
think this is the same guy, same red bubble artist.
Red bubble.
All right, let's take this out of his old little packaging in these things. It's very difficult.
It's a mug.
Oh, okay. And so one of us gets a mug.
Oh, that's very sweet. That's
Yes.
very, very
Well,
nice.
that's
and
all
sweet.
great. That's nice. No leader bombs.
We
That's what
no
we
letter
like.
bombs is good.
So good at shit myself.
Also, like, you know, mugs are always good, aren't they? Because you put tea in it, don't you? Don't you?
Yes, you do,
Yes,
Miss Love. That was well observed.
Yes, you do. Or coffee,
Or coffee?
you know, or even vodka if you're being a little bit naughty. Hey?
And a teacup? If you're like trying to hide it.
You're trying to hide it, Alco style.
And I'm assuming that this is from RB, who appears to be a sloth.
Yeah, nice.
didn't
No,
make
honestly,
these
it's very
mugs,
nice
did
that
you,
you send things. Like, that's crazy. I remember we really do appreciate it. Like, I think you do naturally get desensitized to things, like, generally. Like, I think that when we first got a gift, I was like, and it's free? Yes. Really? Yeah. And it's for me? Yeah. And it's free? Yeah. That's the nature of gifts. But I can keep it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, after a while, you kind of like, oh, another Tetris thing. But it's like, be very, very certain. My face might not show it, but I'm very, very, very happy and excited. I really am.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just for once, I would like to have some of the crown jewels from the British monarchy sent to me. So,
Or the album, or the live DVD, Crown Jewels by AC/DC. Both great.
I mean, all right. Well, I don't want the crown jewels anymore. I want that. Okay? You send your crown jewels back to where they belong, amongst the filth of people whose bloodline can be traced back for hundreds of years. Okay?
Nottingham, I assume.
Yeah, send it back to Nottingham. Maybe to Brighton, just to give it a grand tour.
What's the jewels?
Someone drink out of the chalice.
The Hand in Hand pub in
I assume
North
the
Brighton.
pinball wizard is a real person. And I'm sure he'd appreciate not being able to see them. We'd probably just be able to feel them and be like, is that a sapphire? No, it's a ruby.
Well,
I imagine they look good.
Colour me stunned. You know rock and roll history and folklore. What the fuck?
Oh, yes, I do. I know that one tidbit. Now, no more questions. I'm an expert.
Okay, wait, one more question. I have to, just to see how much. Okay, the guitarist for The Who, his name was Pete Who. Like, as in, what's his last name? I'm not trying to be.
Who's on first? Is it who's on
he
first?
Chinese?
You don't know, it's Townsend. I was like, let's just move on.
Look, I'm pretty sure that all the members of The Who were clones of Justin from Oxford.
Shout
Don't
out.
shatter my illusion.
Who's obviously a big fan and listens to this, I'm sure, every week without fail. He pre-downloads.
Yeah, that sounds like something.
He doesn't
that man
even-
that-
he doesn't-
I'm pretty sure he's never consumed any media that isn't an interview of The Who.
He doesn't even know what Friendlyjordies is. There's no chance.
No way. No way. That man was born with ears, and they have been blown out from how hard he has listened to amps, for sure.
All right, shall we?
100%.
Should we start with our first segment?
Yeah.
It seems
Yes.
like Scott Morrison has killed Super.
Yeah, and you know what? Christo made a really good observation about that. Sick move on his end. Excuse me.
What are you talking about? That's in a sadistic way?
No, in a way that to anybody that has any cognitive faculties whatsoever, his policy, and this was amazing because while he was announcing that, we heard this on Perth radio, it says, Anthony Albanese will be here in Perth, flouting a bunch of new upgrades to emergency services for hospitals around Western Australia, while Scott Morrison will be in tomorrow to announce how you can invest in the property bubble and make it even bigger by making sure you have no retirement whatsoever. Right? That's what the average person would hear. I mean, sorry. The anybody who knows anything about what housing and superannuation is, right? The average person, they'll hear, "Fuck yeah, I can get a deposit. The best investment is one you can live in." So they are going to be very excited by that.
No, okay, my question is, what's the general view of boomers regarding
They're lame.
No. Leave aside the property market at the moment. What do they think of super? Do they look at it favorably or unfavorably?
Boomers would love super because they're about to cash in on it.
They are, but like this, what Scott Morrison is doing, he's basically undermining super, right? I think
Yes.
the calculus for the Liberal Party is that super sucks and we just got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because the point of super
Pretty much
is
because Paul Keating likes it. That's it.
That's your retirement fund. If your calculus is that by the time you retire, super is not going to be enough, and the only way you can actually retire comfortably is having, I suppose, capital gains from your property, then it would make sense for people to use super. But if your idea is that super is actually a good retirement package, then the last thing you want to do is get young people to access super. So I think now super isn't bipartisan. I think Labour Party still thinks...
Super was never bipartisan.
Yeah, but like the Labour Party had to agree to it. And there was a time, I've heard, that back in the day, after Paul Keating... Because John Howard didn't think super was that bad of an idea.
There's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes with that.
But they were like doing things like, if you're a young person and you put in $1,000 in super, we'll match that.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even that long ago. And this was in Liberal governments. So...
But they also stopped super at 9% when it should have gone up to 15%, which means that superannuation is a permanently disabled institution.
Well, I think that irrespective, superannuation is dead. Because let's say Labour comes in and they don't do that super plan. Are you saying that the Labour government could be in for the next 2 decades?
No.
If they won't be, then super's dead anyways.
Yeah.
I think...
But they've been trying to kill it for the last 10 years, Ali. This is just another death blow.
Well, this is the assumption is that if there's no super, then you better own properties.
Yes.
If you're retiring without a big property, you are royally screwed. Because not only that, your pensions are contracting as well. This is believe it or not, this is a bad policy by the Liberal government.
It's an especially evil one because superannuation is there for the poor. It's there to protect them in their retirement. What this is designed to do is eat away at poor people's retirements to fool them into buying houses that are overvalued, that will crash, so their donors that are property speculators can make even more money than they did when they jacked up the price of housing by 25% in a single year. That wasn't enough. That wasn't enough for property speculators. They want more. They want one last gasp of air out of the bubble before it pops. That's all they're trying to do with this. It's so cynical. It's the most diabolical scheme the Liberals have come up with, really. If you think about what they are doing in terms of long-term investment in this country, especially because superannuation by itself now, what is it, $2 trillion? That is $2 trillion that can be guided into companies.
Well, that's the other thing that I wanted to ask you. What do you think is one of the motivations that having these massive super accounts, because, you know, a lot of this change of moving money away from fossil fuel industry has been by people that have their savings and their supers putting pressure on their super funds to divest from these bad economic investments. What do you think is the motivation over here? Could it be that the Liberal government doesn't like the fact that people have that kind of power?
Yeah.
Minus super, they don't have that power on government. They don't have that
well,
power
the
on
other one
government.
is as well is that they don't like the fact that even the reason that Howard liked super initially is he thought this will be a huge injection of capital into his donors, the banks. But even with all of the incentives that he gave big business to say, I'm just going to automatically allow you to sign up your superannuation of your employees into banks that give you very, very bad returns because they're just there for profit and taking all of it over the top. A lot of people still stayed with industry supers that are run by unions, and they have been managed extremely well, and people can see that, so they're keeping it in that, which gives the unions a huge power bargaining chip in the economy. They don't want them to have that, and that's why they're trying to kill it.
I think part of the reason why John Howard might have liked it is because it was also an excuse for lower corporate taxes. Let's be real. That's how Paul Keating sold it in the first place.
Well, yeah, he sold it like that, but then he just went the extra hog and said, you guys set up your own supers, and then you can just take all of that money, so you're winning on two ends.
Look, either way, I'm going to be honest about something. Irrespective, super is a dead idea now. Because the idea itself was
Really?
good.
Yeah,
the idea
it is.
itself is
That's
really
a
good.
fucking crazy thing.
The
It's a
problem is,
genius
if
idea.
you've got one political party that's always in power, or most of the time in power, undermining super, you cannot rely on that.
But what if Labour get in?
They'll be in for
It'll
3
be
years.
safe for 3 years.
And then, or maybe even 6 years. Dude, super needs to be stable for we'll be retiring 30 years from now. So for the next 30 years, we need both governments to actually focus on super, keep raising it to match with the...
You're saying it needs to both sides to be for
Otherwise, if there's one side that's undermining it, you cannot rely on it. So if some young person was to ask me, should I put money on super or should I put money in like a housing deposit? I would say a housing deposit. And not because I don't think super is a good idea. It's because super will, if you keep undermining it, you will end up retiring with a certain amount of money that will get you nothing. So let's say you end up retiring with
because it's not competitive.
$200,000.
Because it's not competitive or something. Because is that what you
No,
mean?
it's because look, the inflation, cost of living, everything is going to keep increasing.
Yeah.
Super isn't increasing at that same
Yes.
rate.
Yeah.
Because
Gotcha.
Global government comes in, even if they're not allowing you to access it to buy a home, they keep it at like 9%. Like what ideally should have been happening was that whichever party comes in, that super goes from 9% to 10% to 11% to 12%. Which is not happening.
I gotcha.
So you're relying on your super to retire.
It's
but
not.
by the time you retire, let's say you end up having like $300,000, $400,000 in your super. $400,000 is not going to get you shit.
Yeah, I got
Because
ya.
we're talking about 2040 or something.
It has to be kind of like propped up by the government and supported in order to be
Yeah.
like competitive. And
Otherwise, you're just royally screwing yourself.
that's a scary thought if it's a
really
thing of the
sad
past.
because Paul Keating had found a glitch in the matrix of the constant struggle of every civilization, which is how do you give the working class a say in the economy? And superannuation gave them that.
Oh, it's
and they're trying to kill that.
It's a very good idea. Do you know what it is? It's almost like forced Norway
Safe.
fund.
Yes.
That you are forced
Yeah.
to put a certain amount of money into your super, which isn't just saving. It's also giving you accumulated wealth generation because the money that you put in is being invested. So you're actually increasing your wealth. But for it to, it's a really, really good idea.
Yeah,
but for it to work,
I
the
thought it
politicians
was like
need to think that it's a good idea. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
yeah.
You can't starve it and then also expect people to retire on it.
And you know what else this shows? This was kind of like work choices where they felt, all right, we've got a term left. Let's just punt the ball down the line as much as we possibly can. Just so corporate Australia knows where we're going to be leading it in the future. So even though we lose this election, we'll be getting the donations in the next election because that's what they want. And that is what happened with work choices. They weren't able to get all of it, but they were able to rush through a lot in the last 10 years. A lot of that is now law. The things that we refused to vote against, that we voted against in 2007, that's there now. So that's what they're doing with superannuation. That is a signal to corporate Australia of we're going to kill this.
It's really depressing,
Not like
actually. And to think about this fact
Not
that
like this.
Not like this.
this idea, this super accessing your super
That is
for
Paul Keating right now.
Yeah.
this whole idea of accessing your super for
Shit.
home ownership, it came 6 days before an election, which gives me reason to believe that it wasn't well thought out.
No,
It's a
it was
desperate-
well thought
it's a
out.
desperate
That is
grab.
a signal not to the look. I think that he actually will benefit from that. I think that there's
I
a
don't
lot of
think he
people that just
will.
want to enter the housing market and they just think, well, I've got $50,000 there. That's a deposit.
It might work for those. It might work for people like us who, let's say, someone who believes super is useless. Like, for example, you, Jordan. For you, this. I mean, keeping aside your politics, let's assume that you weren't a labor shill. The position that you're
Hold on,
in
this is going
right
to take
now,
a second. I really got to get in. No, I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm not a method actor. Either.
You would love this policy. Do you know why? Because you're not employed by someone, so no one is contributing to your super. The expectation is that you contribute to your super yourself, and you're thinking, why would I do that when I have a business and I can invest in other things that will give me like immediate capital gains, like property? It's bad.
Bitcoin.
It's bad for people.
Silver.
It's bad for people like for employees, but also I think there's a lot of boomers out there who want their children to retire with decent funds. I don't think this is going to work with them either.
What do you mean it's not going to work with him?
I think Scott Morrison didn't have a plan for housing affordability.
No.
Albanese came out with his plan, which is the part ownership
Yeah.
of houses.
Yeah.
And then there was pressure on Scott Morrison. It's like, okay, what's your plan? And he's like, kill two birds with one stone. Undermine super and also give access to first home ownership buying. But I do not think, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think that this was a good idea because boomers are not going to like it because they would feel that their children would be worse off when they retire. And I think employees are not going to like it, young employees, because they'll think that super is being undermined. There's a small demographic that likes it, which you are in, and I am in as well. But how many of us are in?
No. There's rationally, there's a small demographic that's going to like it. That's where I fundamentally disagree. I think there's going to be a lot of teachers out there that are going to like this.
I don't think so, man. I think teachers like super.
Maybe teachers like it. Let me think of somebody else. I don't know. The
Okay.
guy that's just at Bondi Beach with the little Calypso bike in the background being like, shirts. Does anyone want shirts? I'm sure he has a robust superannuation.
Do we have...
He's got a super physique. He doesn't need a super bank account.
This is my investments,
Yeah.
man. Apes.
Exactly.
Dude, speaking, this is a comment someone made, and it's so telling of our situation. Forget me, I just want to earn enough to retire my parents. This is where we at. And you know what, dude? I'm in the same boat as you. Like, this is what we're dealing with. And
That's what I should
Well,
be
if
saying.
you can access your super, you'll be able to
Exactly.
do it, mate. So, you know who to vote for.
United Australia.
well off
that's it.
30-year-olds
It was
will
very
like
cryptic.
it.
Speaking of which, I just voted.
For UAP.
No.
You already did.
Postal vote.
How come?
Because I will not be at home during my time of voting. I will be away. And no more further questions about that.
Okay.
You're going to be at the Armadale Hotel,
What's that? What do you mean?
some pub in Near West.
For what?
Why? You're going to be in the thingy.
I said no further questions. The important thing is I voted and I done good. Because
All right,
how
tell us who you
crazy...
voted for.
UAP, I'm joking. I voted for...
I bet that
Wait
was
for
number
it.
2.
Drum roll. Labour.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Gang. 6 long years. And if you thought I was mad.
Come on, round of applause to me.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Jones' round of applause. Everybody clap at home. Give him the validation he clearly needs.
I deserve it.
He deserves it.
It was a regional sort of like ballot. So it was like Labour, and then for the little ticket one, I put Greens second because all the other ones were like pretty mental. It was literally just like, it was the regional vote is crazy. It's like your options are like Labour, Greens, UAP, One Australia, United, like Pauline Hanson, United Australia, parking meters there's too many parking meters party, there's not enough parking meters party. That's it. That's their options.
Oh, is that
Well, that was 2 and 3.
Yeah.
because your electorate is in Lithgow?
Yeah.
Do you know what's the weird thing? All of our Labour votes are not going to amount to shit.
No.
You live in an area where Labour couldn't get elected.
Yep.
I live in an area where Labour can't get
Yep.
elected.
And Jordan.
And you live in an area where Labour can't get
Definitely
elected.
not getting elected.
Our votes are completely useless, all three of ours, which is hilarious considering. Fucking hilarious. But I tried. How I did try. And then the big
Campbelltown.
And then the big long white one, it was just like either put 50,000 under or at the top put at least 6. I'm like, look, you're pushing it with 6.
And did you put 6?
I did.
They are
All
pushing
Labour?
it with
Wasn't
6.
happy about it, but I did put
They
6.
are
It's
pushing
an
it with
effort.
6. We
What do you mean
need
all
to stop
Labour?
doing
What do you mean
this.
all Labour? It was just
So
one.
you just randomly put 6 names?
No,
Sam?
you pick your party or you either pick each fucking candidate
Yeah.
or each party.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
how it works? I
Yeah.
thought it was just like you can just pick 6 and then you're done.
Nah. You got to pick. Well, unless
Too
I
much
fucked
stuff
it.
to do at the voting booth. Like there's
I know.
in that massive paper.
That's the one, that's the one.
Senate paper. That is so like.
Also, there is some crazy
there's
parties.
a way we can not
and,
do it.
and I am still human. I obviously put down the legalized weed party.
What was that, number 2?
I think it might have been 2.
One.
All right, finally.
I seriously think I was 2. And
It
I,
needs to happen.
Man. The Rumi quote has never been so true of to arrive at the place where you started and know it for the first time.
and then 3, I think I put like the common sense party, science, COVID is real. And I was like, well, look, you're not wrong. So I put that as 3.
One.
Remember that party that we looked up that was all around Perth? Of
Yes.
some chick that was like, hi, I'm a deputy principal in a public school. Let's be honest, everyone that's graduated from here's a meth head. and so
We looked up.
I can't even remember what the party was called. But we
They're
looked
always
up
called
at
United Australia or some shit.
something about that. Bring back Australia. Take back Australia. Australia is ours.
The desert party.
Yeah. Oh, and a lot of this as well. The WA party. And this one, the policies, I don't know what they were, but it just started with, fact, more people died of Spanish flu than COVID. Why were we locked down for 2 years? If it's not as bad as the Spanish flu, what's the point? And then Miss Love was sitting there being like, keep reading. And then we were served by someone. that
We
was
are
addicted to
a
meth.
method, actual
Yeah,
method.
it's legit method.
And that's when I took him that far away. Yeah, I just heard that. I'm just like, well, it's a shame I can't vote in Perth.
Jordan, this next segment is going to interest you. Can you read it?
We analyse each political candidate's star sign to see which one would make a better leader.
He actually-
Oh, God, it's for pedestrian.
Yeah, but you are
It
into
does
it.
go full circle.
Yeah, but you are into that.
predict
You want to
us.
know.
I
You're
am.
okay.
You want to know.
Well, every now and then, they
A
they
clock's
come up with some goods.
broken clock's right twice today.
Scott Morrison is a Taurus. What do we know about Taurus?
Ooh,
Yeah, no, I
stubborn.
knew that he was a Taurus.
Stubborn.
We've done many podcasts on how Scott
yeah,
Morrison
yeah.
is a Taurus.
Let's
and
do all of
our audience hates it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you sit through it.
It's
again.
Twitch. Relax.
So according to Pedestrian, this it's a very, very small article. So,
Let's
cast
hear
your mind to the last few years with the jackass at the helm and the way he's behaved during national emergencies.
Well,
sauntering off to
fair.
Hawaii while the country was burning, his ineffectiveness during the pandemic, and so on and so forth. It should come as no surprise that it should come as no surprise then that Taurus is the laziest earth sign. They're all about pampering themselves and would skip out on hard work just to get home in time for dinner. Sounds familiar? It should. It's what we've put up with for 4 years.
No. That's not even an accurate depiction of Taurus.
Yeah, what do you think?
Stubborn.
Taurus is stubborn, and Taurus are also rigid, routine executors, which is why he left during the bushfires, because it was like, but it's Christmas, that's my holiday. No, I drop everything and I go on holiday. That's very Taurus.
Right.
Look, Scott Morrison isn't lazy. He puts a lot of effort into shirking his responsibilities.
That's a pretty good call, actually.
He
That's
does, though.
Yeah,
he really does.
Yeah, that's a
He
good
goes
call.
to Herculean lengths to go on holiday.
Do you think Tauruses can be a good Tauruses can be good politicians?
Yeah.
So
Well, a lot. If we've already done this, we did a much more comprehensive listicle than Pedestrian did.
Yeah, for sure.
On a whim. It really shows how dumb these people are. Because I went through all of the parliamentarians and I was like, fuck, there's a lot of Taurus in here. And there's also a lot of Cancer.
Yeah,
And that makes a
no
lot of
pun
sense.
intended.
some of the Tauruses are
right.
cane chef.
Oh, are we still talking about star signs?
Yeah. Took the words out of my mouth.
But you know what? Because my brother's a Taurus,
Yeah.
and all those things that you mentioned apply to him.
Yep.
I don't think he would be a good politician.
Well, look, let's say this. They're not
They're too
a good
stubborn.
anything, but they're successful at climbing ladders. Because they are able to just keep trotting along. That's the admirable trait of a Taurus, is to just keep plodding. That's why they get to where they want to go.
Right.
Okay, well,
Fact.
Albo is a Pisces.
Yeah, and that
and-
makes total
don't
sense.
know
And
any-
I already knew that, by the way.
Let's read the
Such
pedestrians'
appreciation.
take on it, and then you can give us more info on Pisces.
Such appreciation.
So here's the tea. The other two candidates, Adam Bant and Albanese, are both Pisces. And from an astrologer's perspective, this is freaking fabulous news. You know why?
Of course they like
Because-
Pisces. Of course fucking
Why?
Pedestrian likes
What's the
Pisces.
deal?
Because Pisceans have what our current leader lacks. Empathy, compassion, and the ability to give a damn about other people.
Educate yourself.
Piscean leaders are all about healing and solving problems for everyone, and with Albo, that's all he's been banging on about. That being said, being an emotional water sign, Piscean leaders can get caught up in weeds of situations rather than attacking the problems head on.
Yeah, that really explains Anthony Albanese in his portfolio as Minister for Infrastructure, where he had a flawless execution record.
But what do you think about Pisces?
The stars don't lie.
It's maybe the only star sign I hate more than Taurus.
Really? So you think that? So
Why?
according to you, if you were an astrologer, you would vote for Scott Morrison.
Oh, yeah, on purely astrological vote, this
Right.
would be one of those ones where it's just like, this is an election where you've got to choose the one you hate less.
Right.
That's what I-
yeah. It's
And I'd be choosing Taurus.
It's written in the stars.
The entire universe can't be wrong.
So wait,
Chuck Albo
what
in a
star
black
signs are
hole.
good then?
Huh?
What star
What?
signs are good for politicians?
Well, actually, and this is going to come as a huge surprise to many miss-loves.
It's right.
Bob Hawke.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Hawke.
Chug
You know what
that
I
meat.
actually think
Wait, what are you,
is...
Sagittarius?
You know what I think is the best one for a politician, actually? Probably Cancer.
Why?
Not as wimpy as Pisceans, but they're a water sign, and water is all about molding around your environments. The whole thing about like each way elbow, that is actually very Piscean, of whatever mood someone is in, just reflecting it.
Right.
Like water, just going into whatever shape
But
it
wait,
needs
why
to
is
go.
that good for a politician? Don't you need
Because
to have
that's
principles?
exactly no, yeah. But you need to be able to. A lot of being a successful politician, I think, is picking up on vibes. Breathe.
Yeah, but you're looking at a politician as like as someone who's basically just a figurehead rather than someone with substance that
Yeah,
you can
but-
flow in you. But what about like someone like Abraham Lincoln? You don't need
What
someone
about
that.
Abraham Lincoln?
Well, it's
The fuck did he ever do?
what I'm saying is,
Had a big top hat, dude. Fuck.
don't you need to be
He got
principled?
shot. What a loser.
He's so smart. How come he's dead?
Well, he
Like he could be alive anyway, even if he didn't get shot at this point.
Oh, he is alive. In a lot of those artesian delis, there was a lot of Abraham Lincolns at the counter.
Was
Just a lot of skinny, tall men with beards.
no, but
good hot dogs.
well, what I'm saying is, don't politicians or good politicians or world leaders need to have principles, vision, and all of that stuff?
I guess that might be helpful, maybe. It does make a lot of sense when you look at star signs and then you look at the type of leader that they are, though.
Was Bill Clinton a Saggy?
No, Bill Clinton was a Leo.
What's a Leo? Are you a Leo?
Yeah.
Aren't Leos just like...
How long have you known me?
I thought you were an Aries.
Why? Because everyone else we know is an Aries. Good guess.
Pretty
actually.
much,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Wait,
fair
you're
enough.
a Leo?
But like they sort of are.
Wait, what are you?
Human being. He's Aquarius, and that
Aquarius.
makes a lot of sense as to why we're such good friends.
So what's
Yeah, Leo and Aquarius are supposed to be really good friends. But from what I hear, Leos are just
what's a Leo?
attention
Don't-
whores.
I thought Leos
Come
were
on.
just like good. Aren't Leos good lovers? That's what I heard.
Well, from experience, no, but maybe.
What's Leo? What apart from being attention seek whores? What?
That's pretty much it. They are charismatic.
Hey, we gotta stop. Viewers are dropping off hard.
Shit.
To start something.
Shit.
We just told everyone what Miss Love is. He's a Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius. You fuck. I'm bad with money and like basically have bipolar
Jolly
disorder.
homeless man. Which is exactly that. A jolly hobo.
homeless man with bipolar that every once in a while goes, that's it. I have to travel to a different country. I don't care which one.
Yes.
That's it. That's me.
Did you guys see?
With a napkin tied to a stick. Which is what he brings around. When that man travels, he brings an IGA bag. He's a bag lady. He's a woman and he carries around bags. And he should be homeless. It's only like... Basically, I'm just running a one-man women's shelter. That is why that man has accommodation.
He's right. It's all true. It's all true.
They're homeless. My mum's the same. My mum is just Miss Love if Miss Love had BPD. That's the whole thing, right? But they're the same human being. You know who else has it? Tanya Plibersek. She's a Sagittarius, and it shows. They're just very likable people that like making a lot of friends. They're friends with everybody. That's why I
Why
think
is
they're
that good for like a prime minister? I don't get it.
It's just about electability, Ali, and it's the style of leader.
I'm not talking about
They're consensus
how you
builders.
become a prime minister. I'm talking about once you are the prime minister, what's the best sign?
You know what I think it is? Virgo. I think Virgo are people that are sort of driven by duty. Bernie Sanders is a Virgo, for instance. That is a pin-up boy of what a Virgo should be. In fact, they should just change whatever the symbol of Virgo is to Bernie Sanders' face, in the sky.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Aquarius
Virgo.
can be incredible leaders. A good example of them actually is Ronald Reagan, somebody who can bring a vision to forefront, but they're also people that just get really obsessed with an idea and will convince themselves, because they are the smart star sign, right? They'll convince themselves of its validity, even if it's incorrect, and push on with it. Because they're
Yeah, it is
ideas
me.
people.
Except all my ideas are correct.
Huh? Yes, exactly.
So I must press on.
Now that's an Aquarius.
So big-headedness, Charlie.
Hey, who else? FDR was
check your share.
FDR was Aquarius.
Was he?
Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
so he's a
was.
big. They're big leaders when they get in.
Okay,
and
Not
Bill-
particularly
was-
charismatic. Obama, Bill Clinton, Leos. You think about it like that. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Trump, Cancer.
Hey, don't have to tell me.
we know that already.
We already know that for sure.
I think it's leukemia, if anything.
How many? You think there'd be more articles about that being like coincidence?
Trump is cancer. You can't. This is not defamation. It's just a
Cancer.
fact.
Country.
Yeah, they could use that as a defense. But Trump is cancer. No question mark needed here. When you guys were in Perth,
Wait. Read out Adam B, and I just want to see what these...
Same as
it's
Albo.
basically the same as Albo. Remember when I said Piscean leaders are being all about healing? Well, if you take a look at some of the policies and fundings being discussed by the
For
Greens,
fuck's
you'll
sake.
see that the Piscean energy is shining through. In terms of negative traits, Piscean leaders, in addition to aforementioned drawback, these guys are all about people pleasing. But quite frankly, given the state of things we are in, I think pleasing the people isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, that's... Yes. Fuck, I'm glad that pedestrian have a voice.
Hey, 1 second. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed the astrological analysis. Now I'd like to make it clear one final time. Do not use astrology to inform your decision when voting.
Has to be said. Thanks for that.
Well, I wasn't going to add that disclaimer at the end, and I think that you should. But anyway.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
All right, enough of our viewers have dropped off. Now can we move on? When you guys were in WA, did you happen to see any Chinese ship gathering intelligence?
There was a lot of big-ass ships. So I'm going to say yes.
Well, what's happened
I saw a
is...
Chinese man. He was probably gathering intelligence.
I already said I didn't see
assume.
Kevin Parker, right? I
He
cleared
was
that
at
up.
school gathering
Kevin Parker
intelligence.
may or may not be Chinese.
Peter Dutton.
No, we heard it on the news. It was like there is a ship that has come in and they're very close and they're gathering
But it's so
information.
ridiculous because that's actually precisely why I want to talk about it.
I heard it on the
Is
radio
that
when we were driving.
The Chinese ship is what's
A fishing
called
ship.
in no it's supposed to be their naval ship, but it was in what's called an exclusive economic zone
Right.
where you have freedom of navigation.
So it's free
So
waters.
it's bullshit. So the way it
Scaremongering,
works is you've got
scaremongering.
your shore, right? Then you, for about 12 nautical miles, you have what's called the territorial sea. Territorial sea is where you can't get other Navy ships to come in. That's your territory to use and enforce sovereignty as you please, except for one where a boat is coming because it's looking for a safe passage.
Yeah.
It might be like the
Yeah,
ship is faulty. That's the only reason why you can come on territorial sea without getting a permit. Then for the next 300 miles is what's called an exclusive economic zone. The country whose exclusive economic zone it is has the right to fish and use resources, but anyone can go around that. So it's freedom of navigation.
And that's what they were.
And that's where they were.
So just...
And Peter Dutton
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
comes out and says that this is an aggressive move by China. By the way, and we use the same freedom of navigation clause
In their seas.
in the South China Sea all the time.
Did you hear that? It wasn't even in our seas.
It was in our
It was in a safe
exclusive
zone.
economic zone where you have freedom of navigation.
So it was just
But they
fake
started
news.
pitching it as
It's just fake
it's
news.
some kind of act of war.
They
Basically lying.
They
Peter
really
Dutton
want to
was
go to
straight
war.
up lying.
They want to go to war.
We do that, and then after the
Surprise,
exclusive economic
surprise.
zone comes high seas, where no one's
Pirates.
sovereignty is recognized, and everyone it's free for all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It sounded like fear-mongering.
Kevin Rudd, after listening to Peter Dutton say this, called Peter Dutton an idiot.
Hey, what did China say about it?
China was saying stop making this controversial, and it's not that. Look, I'm not saying that they weren't there to gather intelligence, but if for lack of a better word, they're allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's like it's...
Secondly, we do it, or the Americans with us
Yeah.
do it all the time.
Dude, it's ostensibly what's the same as Peter Dutton going into a Beijing dumpling house, walking, going doof, 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 and then going up to someone's dumpling and going, I'm like, you said you were getting their vegetable. There's pork in that. And then knocking down the hand and being like, liar. You're a liar.
In fact, he put
Yeah,
Scott
but he was
Morrison
probably right
in an
about
awkward
that one.
position.
You see the little dumpling, there's a small Chinese man that runs out of it being like, oh no.
We
welcome
you to the Lollipop Guild. No, it's
You know
fucked.
what's amazing?
It's fucked.
You know
It's
what
fucked
is
up.
amazing?
He embarrassed Scott Morrison, who had to come out and
Oh
say,
my god.
I would
You know
not
why?
classify
You know
that as
why?
an
You know
aggressive-"
why he's like this? What's his name? What's his name again? Dutton.
Dutton.
You know why he's like this? He's an ex-cop. He's just got that cop thing in him where it's like, gotta bash your head in. Just can't get that out of his system.
Basically, you're right.
He's in the ideal role.
and he's also, I think he's really
What?
convinced by the
Ruler
American.
of the country.
No, liberal
Defense.
defense.
Yeah, but fuck's sake.
And owner of shadow government.
It's just it's so painfully obvious, isn't it? So Scomo came out and was like, what did he say? He was like,
No, he was put in an awkward situation where he knew that this cannot be perceived as an aggressive act because they're allowed to do it. But on the other hand, he didn't want to seem weak on China. So he
Right.
says that I'm not too particularly concerned about it. I don't think it's an aggressive act. However, keeping in mind the current geopolitical relations between Australia and China, it can be perceived as an aggressive act.
So he just said Dutton's right.
Basically.
He said that I'm not going to say it like Dutton, but I'm also not going to contradict him.
Yes. Great. He's saying Dutton's
And
correct.
Albanese's move was we share. I feel bad for Labour, where like they need to be perceived to be tough on China, where they have to defend shit like this. Albanese's take, well, not Albanese, sorry, the shadow defense minister. His take was that I echo the Peter Dutton sentiments on this, but I will wait for a full briefing on this issue.
Strong. Jesus.
Yeah, that's each way elbow for you.
But Kevin Rudd
Classic
has
Pisces. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, classic.
classic Pisces.
Too late, but you already voted, miss.
I
You
know.
knew how weak he
Hey,
was.
I've still got the envelope. Still in the bag. I'll tear that up right now. Donkey
I'll
vote.
take the thorn, thank you.
Yeah.
Most patriotic thing you could do. Now, there's two pieces of news that I was privy to when I refused to go on the internet for an entire week and angered my booking manager and Miss Love a lot.
We already
And
talked
I
about the
regret
deli.
nothing. Oh, yeah. Stay up for the up lates. We're going into deep dive detail of how many different types of custard donuts they had at that deli. But for now,
Connor's low.
Ali. I was talking about this off air, but it just needs to be staged again. Kevin Rudd's epic fucking own of that Sky News reporter
I'm
cunt.
gonna make a cup of tea. I've heard this
Well,
enough.
you better be making
Oh,
two,
sorry. Yeah, I'll make two. There's enough tea.
Give us a debrief.
It was just so... He's a stand-up comedian. Him and Trump. Funniest world leaders of all time. It was amazing. He just asks him some question like, are you looking for some sort of dignitary position from an Anthony Albanese government? He goes, you've tried to flog a dead horse with this one. I've answered this many times, mate. It's just something that you'd imagine from Sky News goons such as yourself. Everybody here thinks he's a goon, am I right, guys? And then there was all these Labour supporters behind him going, woo! Hey, have you ever thought about this? No one here likes you. How about you go somewhere where people actually do like you? I bet you even if you went to the News Corp headquarters, even Murdoch could be like, who's this loser? Oh, he's one of the underlings for me. This guy sucks. It was just paying him out. And then he just goes on to Sky News and they're all sitting there going, I love this about journalists. Journalists spend their lives bullying. That's what they do, mass bullying. And then when you turn around and say, hey, you had no friends in high school. Oh my God, bully! All these nerds getting, it's just the same thing of like just going into chess club and knocking over the pieces and them going, running into the shadows of the library. I love it. It was so rewarding to watch.
Kevin Rudd is a boss. Did you
He's so
also
good.
hear him recently talk about ABC?
Hey, Sky News, I've got a scoop for you. Fuck you. Yeah.
Did you also hear him talk about ABC's perceived left-wing bias?
He talked about it on my show.
Oh,
What
yeah,
did he
he
say?
did.
What did he say?
Basically what he said, I remember that. He said that on your show and he said it on other shows now, that there's no left-leaning bias, but because of the constant cuts, ABC is pro the Liberal Party now. Like, this is a reality that everyone needs to contend with.
You know what else he said that I think was great is they've just decided to hedge their bets because they're a bunch of toffs who take their kids to the same private schools as the Libs anyway. They're just Greens and Tories anyway, but they've decided to hedge their bets and realise that we're just going to increase their funding because we actually believe in public services, and they're right, regrettably. But so they've just realised, we can kick the shit out of the Labor Party and we can just cosy up to old Daddy Scott Morrison and we win on either side.
It's a smart
So
policy.
perfect. It's just so...
It's bad,
filthy.
but like, if you were heading the ABC, would your policy be any different?
Yeah, it would, actually. It would be if I was heading the ABC.
Why?
But my first policy of the ABC would be like, attention everyone, you're all fired. Good day.
Actually, that reminds me, Netflix has actually done that.
What?
Netflix sent a memo to all of its employees after the whole, because you know how a lot of their employees were saying, we don't like you releasing Dave Chappelle specials and stuff. So they recently sent a memo that, in other words, said, if you don't like the content we're putting quit right now.
Boss. Love it.
And Elon
Not enough
Musk
to get a subscription.
Elon Musk said, "That's great. I want to do that with Twitter too."
Yes.
What do you?
Rise of the unempathetic billionaire class.
It
What?
had to happen. It had to happen when from 2010 onwards. I remember when I was like, I had just graduated from my undergrad and I was applying at, believe it or not, BuzzFeed Australia.
Shit.
And I didn't apply because I got triggered by their job application form because all the emphasis was on
triggered by it.
because like they were asking me what your race is,
Oh,
but
right.
it didn't have my race on it, and there was no option of other.
Right.
They just copy pasted. You know what the options were for BuzzFeed Australia? Are you African American? Are you Native American? Are you white? Are you white? Are you Asian American?
That's all the races.
Suck it up and
I
say
was like,
that you're
I'm
African
not American. I was like, I'm American.
Yeah, do it, man.
Dude, that's all the races.
But if your hiring criteria was basically how woke you are, it was only a matter of time before, the big wigs of these corporations go like, yeah, there was serious lapses in HR.
yeah.
You are hiring people based on the wrong ideas here.
Not good for business.
Well, look. God, you know what is an amazing, amazing feeling? Knowing that BuzzFeed is bankrupt.
Are they actually?
Pretty much. No one watches them anymore.
BuzzFeed.
And the other thing is that with the Netflix thing, you had to draw the line somewhere. A man complaining about his grievances as a black man wasn't woke enough. At some point, you have to say, like, you are a Labrador. You cannot be satiated.
The word
We
is
have Labradors
insatiable.
working for us.
The word's insatiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're insatiable. Thank you, Miss Love.
Just here to
God,
correct
you're
the
a-
record.
Quite ineffective dictionary, but sometimes you come up with
Hey,
words.
if you need to hear about, if you're stuck for 80s action heroes' names,
Call me.
I will be there.
Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Jean-Claude.
and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Done.
If you need to know some of the biscuits in the Arnott's biscuits, all sorts, Miss Love might know it.
Monte Carlo. I'll get back to you with the rest.
Oh my God. It's like, what reggae artist do you know? Bob Marley.
And that would be my answer to that one too.
Who's the Ziggy Marley of the Anzac biscuits, all sorts? What else have they got? Buttermilk? Is that one of them?
Yeah, there's another chocolate one, I guess.
Shit Oreos. Don't forget them.
Dude, all sorts suck apart from
They
Monte Carlo.
suck.
Is there anything sadder than seeing one of the all sorts and all the Monte Carlos are gone? It's like, it's rubbish. It's just rubbish now.
Who buys them? Is it just, you know what they should just
Grandmas.
rename it? Country Women's Association's favourite.
People from Holsworthy, no offense.
I would
I'll
not
take
be surprised if he has it at his house. Surely.
I do.
Yeah. Dipping him in curries.
If,
What a-
if you don't, your
what a
neighbour does.
beautiful combination.
Curry.
Dipping it. Oh God. Monte Carlo curry.
Monte Curry.
Jordan, we need you to update us.
Curry!
We need you to update us on the NBN fiasco.
That's still going?
Ah, really? Do you? Over to you, Ali.
What do you mean?
I don't know anything about the NBN anymore.
I swear
don't
you're doing a
care.
video on it.
Was I?
He doesn't
Today.
know. Even if he did a video, he doesn't know about it. That doesn't
I
help.
released something today?
No,
doesn't
you
help
just
the situation.
recorded something.
No, that was my special comment.
That was a Warhammer
At
video,
the end.
dude.
That's why I was so impassioned and there wasn't any jokes in it because there's no joking matter about it.
was a Warhammer.
Anyways, the NBN bill is closing to it's close to
My
$100
closing
billion
thought.
now.
Sorry?
Kevin Rudd's original proposed NBN plan was for $41 billion. That would have put fiber cables to every individual house. The coalition came in and they said, this is a waste of money. Why do you need fibers all the way to households? Malcolm Turnbull famously said that households don't need anything more than 25 megabytes per second. They reduced the 41 billion to I think 30 billion or something. But as soon as they started doing it, their own plan became initially 40 billion again, and then 60 billion to the point now where they not only was it 60 billion, they realized that the strategy was bad from the get-go because the world has moved on, and Australia is like number 60 in the world for internet speed.
Kenya's faster.
So the cables that they installed, the copper cables, they're pulling them out again to put the fiber cables, and the cost of that is going over $100 billion.
And they're like good economic managers.
Apparently.
What the fuck?
NBN is the real one that just makes you shake your head. It's like my mum giving up that castle that was rightfully mine in Croatia for nothing.
Oh, don't
literally
mention that.
no money. That is the Australian version of that.
Bizarre.
What do you think about Kevin Rudd's opinion that it's because of Murdoch?
Eh?
What do you think about Kevin Rudd's opinion that it was all because of Murdoch?
Like everything Kevin Rudd's ever said in his life.
Makes sense.
Correct.
He wants Foxtel monopoly.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
what's
like
Dark Side?
my thing is like
Ooh.
even
Google.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google it.
Sorry.
keep going.
Sorry.
how
keep going.
often does your Netflix buffer because of copper wires?
A lot.
Well, mine doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Copper's shit.
Yeah, copper is shit, but I think it's good enough for Netflix.
Yeah, it is, but it's like it doesn't matter. They blew out the budget, and they fucked a good idea to start
No, they
with.
definitely did.
And also, what happens when in now you cap 25 gigs or whatever the fuck it is? Then what? It's like, oh, we got to dig it up again. There's a higher.
They're
usage.
doing it now. In fact, not only are they digging up again, there's a lot of wasted copper wire.
Oh, fuck yeah. Kevin Rudd's a Virgo. Need I say more? Best leaders.
Hey, I didn't care about him.
Virgo.
Oh, well, I wasn't asking about him.
Who are you asking about?
Take that back.
What did you want to know?
Pick it up.
What?
Rupert.
Oh, let's find out.
Jesus.
I bet he's a Scorpio because he knows.
How do we go back to this?
Sorry, we're just we're not good. This is the last one.
Pisces.
What?
Murdoch.
Murdoch's Pisces, eh?
What? Like Rudd?
No, like Albanese.
Oh. What the?
And Adam back.
What the
That's
hell?
why we need more Pisces.
That's weird. Well, maybe he just fell
Why
down
are
the
we
stairs.
back on star signs?
So-
We've already
Maybe he
lost
Because I
our
wanted to
viewers.
drive our listenership down to zero.
Maybe he fell down the stairs or something.
Hmm?
Maybe Rupert fell down the stairs.
Why?
Well, he doesn't seem to be like a great person, so maybe that
Is
explains
he-
that.
That's my whole point. Pisces aren't anyway.
Oh, okay. And Kevin's the same as who again? Oh yeah,
Bernie
Albert.
Sanders.
Yeah. Oh, Bernie Sanders. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I for one was pretty over it when I was in Lithgow and Irishmen would come in and spend all their money at our venue and just waffle on about how much they're getting paid to install the NBN. Is that like, that's our new super, paying Irish people way too much to rip out copper, then put in more copper, then rip it out again, then put it in. That's our new economy.
In fact, it's
But
becoming
they're not ripping out the copper
economical.
and putting in more copper, are they?
In some places they are. In some places they're just leaving copper wires underneath because it's it's expensive to rip it out and put a new one as opposed to just putting another wire.
I'm just going to quit Friendlyjordies and follow those guys around and be like, you're not going to throw that copper out.
Hey,
Oh,
the
just
copper's
sell it.
mine, Jordan. Keep it away. That's my copper. You keep your fucking mess off. What do you think I got the IGA bag for?
That's the real super right there. Can you imagine how rich you would be if you were able to collect all the copper they're ripping out?
Very.
Would you? Or
Yeah.
yeah, okay, great.
Would be, but the cost of ripping it out would be more than the cost
It's
of
more
the
if it's
copper
out
itself.
already, you can just grab
No,
it.
but once it's out, then
Yeah,
you're just
you can
saying,
grab it.
look, it's going into the dump or it's going into my retirement fund. Anyway,
Both dumps.
It's apparently not good enough because it keeps driving up the prices.
Copper.
what drives away the prices? What are you talking
Actually,
about?
you know what?
But there's no money in actually selling that copper. The problem is that the copper shouldn't have been there in the first place. So the act of using the labor or whatever, the expertise to rip that copper out is more expensive than the cost of that copper itself. And
Yeah,
that's
I know that that's what's happening on a national scale. I'm just talking about theft, darling.
Plus, there's plenty
Oh.
of copper that's already been pulled out for me. stay the fuck away.
Get your head out of facts and figures for once.
Some
and
of the
learn
copper
a lesson from the school of life.
is out of ground. You know, that's cash.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So you're
Now,
saying,
there's a man on my level.
how are you stealing something that is uneconomical to steal?
It's not uneconomical.
It's not
to steal.
uneconomical if it's out of the ground.
Nothing you could ever steal is uneconomical. It costs nothing.
No, imagine if the cost of stealing something was higher
It's not.
than the price of selling it. In fact, you don't
If I was
even
one of
have
those
to steal
Irishmen
it.
getting paid to rip it out, yes. But I'm not one of those Irishmen getting paid to rip it out. Just sit there, talk to them about how the good old days of the IRA, and while their backs are turned, bam! The old Dublin special. Boom, boom.
One in shock and one in the knocker. Boom. You're gone now.
That's for you too.
That's for
That'd
your
be a
lack-
hard. I'd probably kill him. I'd probably kill him and how hard I'd punch him. Just the fact that Bono exists.
All right, fine. Yeah, you guys are right. We're
Sweet.
missing out on this gold mine.
Hey.
Yeah,
copper
well,
mine.
And you
Coppers.
all keep your mitts off it too. You're all twitches. You're not going to go outside.
Can you send us copper instead of shirts?
Please. Please.
Just a few, several 100,000 miles of it.
At least send a pin of
Okay,
where it is.
would you
know,
rather?
Drop a pin.
Which segment would you rather talk about? The Albanese's minimum wage increase or Neil Patrick Harris getting cancelled?
Both.
Well, I mean, I think we all know which one's more in the national interest.
Neil Patrick Harris. So Neil Patrick Harris is facing huge backlash because some
He said The Matrix 4 was good.
research.
Even the
defended
director, even the director's just like, you're absolutely out of control with this one, Patrick.
Because 8 years ago he had a Halloween party where he got a cake that was basically Amy Winehouse's corpse.
So,
Why are you getting cancelled for that? Why isn't he getting pat on the back?
dude, the level of
One funny
cancellation,
thing that man has done in an entire life of comedic
the level
roles.
of the level of what constitutes for cancellation in Hollywood is getting ridiculous. Isn't Halloween supposed to be shocking?
Yeah, but like some dead, and when this happened, Amy Winehouse had been dead for like a few weeks.
I mean, look,
Canceling. He deserves it.
8 years from now. Because,
Yeah.
yes, that was too soon, and the cancellation 8 years later was still in the use by date, apparently.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying that that's okay?
I mean,
It's more than okay. I wish I was at that party.
listen, this is what it is.
I wanted to see what it tasted like.
This is what it is. It's insensitive, inconsiderate, downright mean. It's also funny.
It's funny.
And in this country, actually, pretend we're in America. In this United States, that precedes everything. But in Australia, I guess you go to prison for that. You know what I mean? It's all of those things. And that's okay, right?
Yeah, but Neil Patrick Harris is gay. Isn't that like
Some sort of protection.
Yeah.
Not anymore. No one's safe. Haven't you been listening to Joe Rogan recently?
I know I have. No one's safe. What he said, the old man.
No one's safe from cancellation.
Listen to Frenchie, all right?
Ali,
She's
Ali,
right.
Like, we can just end the podcast after this, all right? You ready? The left eats itself.
cannibal?
And that's the end of the
And-
podcast.
Kinda
Thank
like
you very
your
much for listening for the last 7 years. It's been a wild ride.
It's been a wild
Hope
ride.
Anthony Albanese wins, and if he doesn't, we're not coming back.
We're not coming back. And little extra tidbit, it's the end of Friendlyjordies too. But that's not as important. All right. Thanks, guys. It's been great. See ya. Wave them off.
Just show everyone what you look like without a hat before we go, finally. Just there we
I've
go.
done that
There we go.
before.
That's done. That's all you get.
the
Sneak peek. If you want it,
camera
you
wasn't
want the
even
full
on.
experience, go to the Up Late podcast that isn't recorded on cameras.
That's the final finale.
He tips his hat to you. Bye.
Is this a joke that you've heard before?
What?
Do you just wash your face till here, or do you wash it till here?
Is that a thing?
That's pretty good. Here's the answer. I don't wash my
5
face at
minutes
all.
Face continues on here.
But the answer is
There's no facial features here. It's head. It's just his head.
I don't wash my face at all.
Although I could imagine that if he took his hat off, there was just that really scary morphed face of Voldemort at the back of that bald guy's head, just being like, I need more unicorn blood.
Did you see that at the airport when I took it off?
What? Oh yeah, it was horrifying. Look at this. Can you just take it off for a second? Just once or twice. Look, threatening, Non-threatening. Non-threatening. That is the difference between him getting a cavity search and not.
Villain, hero's friend. Villain, hero's friend. I don't know why I didn't say hero.
Miss, if you ever get a lull on Hinge, I think you just take the hat off and then just march into the airport. You'll be getting a lot of fingering.
All good advice.
Just
Good
take
point.
it on board. Take it.
Yeah,
just
good point. Well
know
argued.
that. Okay, thank you.
Um,
Know that.
so it
I
seems
do.
like Putin is getting his ass whooped in Ukraine.
I heard about this too. Yes.
Well, that's not as interesting as the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, but it is number 2. So what happened?
I'm off of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. I'm over it, guys.
Really? Why?
Because it's
Haven't the
boring.
cross-examination started?
Yeah, she's talking about. You probably know more about it.
I don't know anything. I know that Perth exists. That's all I learned in the last week.
Amber Heard is saying she feared for her life.
We're not talking. Are we talking about that?
She said that at one point
You've
she
seen-
was sitting
you
on a
watched it
couch.
all. You know
No, I
this.
did. It's still going, miss.
No, it hasn't. They went to recess. There's no more interviews with Amber Heard, is there?
I think it's high school, but okay.
They have lunches. You should know, Mr. I've been sued.
Yeah, but here's the other thing as well. I didn't go to court.
Too busy. Gotta work.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
If somebody doesn't make a hilarious parody about Bunnings, who will?
Oh, yeah, there's other 50,000 YouTubers.
Well, I'm going to make it anyway.
Wait, so you don't care?
And steal their jokes.
You don't
Sorry.
care about Ukraine update?
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't care. I said I didn't care.
I don't care. He cares.
All right, tell us about
Because
Depp
look at him.
and
He
them.
is a Ukrainian man.
What did it make-
Satiate his genetics.
What are my people doing?
Apparently, there's news reports that Putin is trying to get the reserves in. That's how much manpower he's lost in Ukraine. And
As in casualties.
not casualties, he had to retreat because from what I gather, again I don't know, but from the news reporting that Ukraine actually fought this war in a really smart way. Instead of just going head on and fighting like an army battalion, what they're doing is, the entire purpose of like how to win a war is basically encircling and cutting off supplies, right? So what you do is try to get, if there's one army that's headed towards another army, the army that wants to win is going to try and sneak up from behind and sort of compress the opposing force. So what Ukraine has done is, instead of fighting Russians head on, they are strategically attacking the encirclements that Russia is planning. So Russia would go from one direction and send another battalion to come from behind, and what Ukraine is doing is, instead of attacking the front, they're attacking supplies off the encircling battalions.
Supplies of the... I got
So basically cut them off from Russia. And so there's and this strategy apparently has been really effective.
What's the death toll now?
Man, I don't want to get into that toll because I don't know. These figures...
It's all fake.
What? Both sides are are lying?
No, I just don't
Sure.
know what the casualties are like.
Like ballpark figure?
Thousands?
Damn, that's pretty fucked up.
I know...
It's quite low for a full-scale invasion, though.
It is.
A lot of it isn't casualties. A lot of it is Russians getting their ass handed to them and then retreating back to regroup and come back again.
I'm talking about deaths.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Right.
So what? So the
Is it
Ukrainians
true?
fought smart by doing what every army in history has done.
Ukraine claims 27,000 Russian dead. Like
22,000, Jesus.
again,
22?
that's 27,000.
What?
But again, this
Well,
is what I'm
that's
saying.
not as shocking as 22,
It
but
would
okay.
be. I wouldn't be surprised if either side are
Insanity.
inflating these figures.
Right. Is it true that someone told me that the reason that someone told me that Russia's backing down because like some other countries joined NATO?
Yeah, Finland and Sweden are contemplating joining NATO.
That's probably not good for global stability.
But it's better than Ukraine joining NATO, according to Russian perspective. So
But
for
surely
some reason, Russia thinks that Finland and Sweden, they've assumed that at some point Finland and Sweden would join NATO. And that's not a deal breaker for them. For them, what that means is
Oh, okay.
they just have to put a lot more. They have to put like missiles and a lot more resources in that area to combat this new threat. However, for some reason, Russians believe that Ukraine joining NATO is much worse. I think it's
I understand that. I mean, I get why.
Access to Russian, it's much harder to come from Finland and Sweden as opposed to Ukraine.
I would surely they'd still see that as a threat.
They do. They don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's not big. Also, I don't think Russia is capable of. They're already fucking getting their ass handed to them in Ukraine. They don't want to go to Finland and Sweden, which will be a much tougher cookie to crack.
Because they're mountain people.
Location, as well as the resources that they have. The other thing that we don't
Salmon.
hear this is something that I learned. The amount of money that America is giving to Ukraine now to fight this war
massive.
Is equal to the Russian military budget.
Whoa.
And you know what? Tucker Carlson's take on that is, we have people that need that money here, in our own shores. Have you been to Los Angeles? Looks like South Sudan. Okay, this is despicable. You should be disgusted with yourselves.
Is that why CNN and MSNBC are constantly saying that Tucker Carlson, is he a Russian agent along with Donald Trump?
Yes.
Because he dared question the huge military expenditure blowout.
Yeah.
Well, you got to ask the question.
Someone's like, Ali, talk about the Eurovision Ukraine bias. Apparently, this year's... Look, I've never paid attention to Eurovision.
Ukraine!
But this time, Ukraine won by an overwhelming majority
just
of the
so
votes.
Well, it must just be a coincidence. That they were so talented.
Yeah, I reckon that Ukrainian singer must have been better than Michael Jackson.
Can we watch?
Yeah.
Can we see it? Because this is the whole thing as well. It's just like with Eurovision, is anyone who's ever won it or been in it good?
Yeah, ABBA. That's when it stopped.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, wow. I mean, I guess there was some purpose to it then.
Yeah.
I think Guy Sebastian was there once,
Yep.
and he was probably the worst they've ever had.
Yep.
Great.
So ABBA, that's it.
And let's just go through this again. Why the fuck was Guy Sebastian in Eurovision?
Why is it Australia in Eurovision? That pisses me.
Oh, I think I know the answer to that, but I've forgotten. I think
no-
it was at some point that Australia was like, can we please be part of this? And they were like, yes.
It's so.
Yes, you can.
It's so lame. Eurovision now accepting the world. What?
What?
It's called Eurovision.
But I do like this as well. I bet this is part of it. Australia can be part of it, but Turkey cannot. Yes.
Always. Why do you
Take
think?
that out of
Why do
our
you
wallet.
think like all of these other like non-Western countries are always complaining about the Western lobby? Australia gets, or like Western countries get access to everything, even if they're not even in the continent.
Eurovision.
And Turkey, who is supposed to be part of Europe,
But they're not really.
actually, I don't know. Maybe Turkey is part of Eurovision, but it applies to EU membership.
I don't think Turkey's in it. Oh, maybe they are. Fuck, I don't know.
Israel's in it,
Well, that's
but Israel is not in Europe.
fair. That's fair, actually. It's in the
Europe
fucking
is
Middle
a
East.
state of mind, darling.
It's in the Middle East. Well, these days.
So basically, everyone is
all we've got
Europe
left.
except for Turkey.
Everyone's Europe except Turkey.
Israel is not Europe.
Sucked in.
Israel is in the Middle
Yeah,
East.
they're playing the Euro Soccer World Cup or whatever.
Maybe I'll write a letter to whoever runs Eurovision.
Oh, here
Mr.
we go.
Europe.
Here we go.
Dear Mr. Europe.
And then some Cockney English guy with a top hat, like the Monopoly man, writes up like, "I'm glad that you found this well. I've written you a cohesive letter explaining why we did invite Israel as well as Australia." And I'm like, this is thorough as fuck.
And kudos for sending this letter to me, because it seems everybody else in the world thought that my name was such a joke that it must be just a joke. Oh, my name is Mr. Europe. Thank
Everyone
you very much.
forgot about me.
Now have a Monte Carlo out of this Anzac biscuit, all sorts.
Okay. I found out why Australia is part of Eurovision.
Oh, here we
So apparently Australia and SBS in particular.
Your girlfriend sent you this, correct? Yeah, of
because
course.
she's a massive fan. So
Cool.
apparently Australia and SBS were big audience for Eurovision, to the point where like Eurovision was like, do you guys want to be part of this, considering that half of us watching are Australians?
That's so lame.
And,
That's so lame.
And they got us in.
It's like,
In fact, this is another tidbit
We
of
should
information I got. Australia is the reason ABBA got big after their Eurovision win. Apparently, we picked up ABBA.
what?
We already knew that.
I didn't know
Get
that.
with the program of this.
I think she's singing with the Bee Gees, dude. They're Australian.
Are they?
Yeah.
No. ABBA isn't Australian, but
Next you're going to tell me Nicole Kidman's Australian.
ABBA won Eurovision, and because Australia watched Eurovision a lot, they were like, "Hey, this band is amazing."
In the 70s.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the rest of the world found out that ABBA was great because of us.
I found that dubious, but it's possible. TV existed in the 70s, but were they playing Eurovision? I guess they probably were. And that's
just
that.
call it Eurovision. Come on.
Nah, Eurovision
Dan
is better.
Schkem wants to make it clear ABBA sucks, man.
You suck,
I agree.
dude.
Dude, let's admit it, ABBA kind of does suck.
No, your music tastes suck. You got that confused.
Wait, you
Alright,
like
maybe.
ABBA?
I don't turn that shit off. They got some hits.
I mean, he is European. It might make sense to me.
You are too.
ABBA makes no sense to me. I'm not European enough for ABBA.
Right. I like ABBA. Older I get, the more sense they make to me.
Why?
I
What sense is to be made from ABBA?
For the longest time, I thought people that are into ABBA
Disco.
are exclusively gay.
Well, yes,
Not wrong.
I am adding to that statistic, but I don't want to generalize.
Or any
What?
women, I
I'm
suppose.
saying I'm gay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thanks for coming out, Miz. And you thought that the show was petering out.
And
There you
you're
go.
the comedian.
You now
ABBA's
have to leave the
fine.
podcast.
ABBA's sick.
No gays allowed.
Yeah, get out, Miz.
ABBA's sick, dude. Huh? ABBA's mad.
Okay, just explain to me why. Give me an encapsulation.
Good production, good songs, catchy, kind of tacky but fun. Got some good riffs, man. Dear, 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 dear. Dude, it's a fucking riffs.
All right. What do you think about the fact that I don't know if the keyboard player is a mute or not? Has that man ever said anything in his life?
Well, they are like Swedish, aren't they?
Yeah.
Isn't
That
everyone
might explain
Swedish
why
or
he
mute?
was a bit
Some
shy
shit
in
like
the
that.
English
They're-
speaking interviews.
Hey, isn't everyone Swedish or mute?
Probably, actually. Why would they need to speak?
They don't need to
what
speak.
possible need could communication have?
They're like,
I
I
think
think they just yodel. That's
I think
it.
they're mostly what
And
they
that's
say
ABBA.
is that they are not Switzerland. That's when they speak.
probably.
Are they all Swedish? Or is one of them
Yes.
Finnish?
Dude, I don't even
They're
know.
all Swedish, I'm pretty sure. Finnish. Well, you're getting to the bottom of it, are you?
Well, someone needs to ask.
I need to
questions.
find out
Yeah,
about.
Swedish.
Yeah, I need to find out about this information about a band that I don't care about whatsoever.
Dude, I think
that
there's-
is your brain, is it?
There's 1,032 people listening
Yeah.
to why ABBA is slightly good or bad, or are they Swedish or not?
Yes.
Peak pod.
Is that the content that they're here for?
Yes.
Clearly, they're not clicking off. This is a lot higher than when we were talking about astrology.
Way higher. It's going up.
They're invested. Someone is saying
I will say this.
one of them is Norwegian/German.
Oh,
I
that's
knew it.
hu-
Finnish.
Oh shit!
not
Norwegian
Finnish.
/ German. You
No,
were right
no,
though.
the
You were
segment
right.
is
I knew one
Finnish,
was
thank
half
you.
German. I will say this. Hey, I'll extend you an olive branch, Ollie. They are overrated.
What the hell?
What is wrong with
Let's
you?
go- yeah.
10
Miss,
Excuse me.
like, where's your head at, though?
Where's? Excuse me.
Why are you You're not doing the solo podcast.
This is not a contradiction. You said they're shit. I said they're good, but they're overrated.
Oh my god, the nuances over
You
here.
fucking idiots.
All right, what major band do you think isn't overrated?
Isn't.
I mean, every muso thinks that all huge bands are overrated. don't they?
Like functioning or not functioning?
Functioning.
Big. What defines big?
All right, is the Jackson 5 overrated?
Are they functioning? Michael Jackson's dead, dude.
The Jackson 4.
Well, that doesn't. You just set these rules and then destroyed your own rules.
They still do things though, don't they?
Marilini says Queen.
They're not
Oh,
functioning.
Queen,
They're not
for
playing.
fuck- I
They're
mean,
not playing
Jesus,
anymore.
Just in case you thought that ABBA wasn't gay enough.
They're not playing anymore. I'm trying to think of a band.
The
that's-
Beatles are overrated. The Beatles are not overrated.
No,
Actually,
the Beatles.
Beatles
I think
is
they're good.
one band that I say they deserve that.
I think the Beatles are. Yeah, they're probably not.
The Rolling
overrated.
Stones are overrated.
Yes.
They are so overrated.
So
Which
overrated.
Rolling Stone has
I mean, for
gathered
fuck's sake, we
moss.
stop saying that AC/DC makes the same song,
Yeah, Rolling Stone. Yeah, the Beatles aren't. Who else? I think Pink Floyd isn't overrated.
right? Creed isn't overrated.
Of course, with arms wide open.
Someone's saying Queen are still touring. That is crazy.
Yeah, but like so are in excess, you know.
Dude, did you?
They are.
Death didn't stop there.
No.
It should have.
Should have stopped both those bands. When the singer dies, you usually stop. AC/DC could get away with it, but they changed singers in the 70s.
Have you heard
Clearly the Foo Fighters aren't overrated.
Have you heard about Sacha Baron Cohen's negotiations with Queen? He initially wanted to play Freddie Mercury.
I heard that.
Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to play Freddie Mercury.
He would have done all right.
He would have done
It
good.
looks like him.
He does. He's Jewish.
He was trying to get rights from Queen, and Queen was like, "Okay, here's what's gonna happen. We'd love for you to play this, but the story really begins once Freddie Mercury is dead, because the story is about how we managed to get back on tour." And Sasha was like, "Nah, dude, that's when the story ends."
Wait, he wanted a 10-minute film.
No, he wanted the whole film to be about Freddie Mercury, and once Freddie
him to
Mercury
star in
dies,
God, that man is so unnarcissistic.
But that's what it
yeah,
was
but also
about.
Queen was.
But that's what it
once
was.
Freddie Mercury was dead, Queen was kind of dead.
But that was what the film was about. I've seen it.
Yeah, I suppose they had to like eventually come to terms with the fact.
Shit, so Sacha Baron Cohen was instrumental in making the movie good because it wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, the movie was all right.
It was all right. It was better than the Elton John one.
Dude, that movie
That
sucked.
sucked, dude.
Do you think Elton John liked the movie? About
Yeah.
Loved it.
No.
Of course he did. It's a
Loved
dude.
it.
It's a musical.
Say no more.
It was out of control, dude. All right.
My missus is so into Elton John. Any kind of gay music she's into. But Elton John,
gay
that
music?
she
What
was
does it even
shocked. She was shocked when she found out. I first learned about Elton John because of Eminem. Stan?
Yeah, that's not that crazy.
And she thought that was bizarre.
It is bizarre.
It's not that bizarre.
I'll give you a mislove point. It's bizarre, but not bizarre.
How bizarre. That was not my point, you fuck. That was not my point. Saying something is good but overrated is completely cromulent. You on the spectrum weirdos.
All right, look.
Flying high.
I think it is kind of strange that you didn't know who Elton John was until Eminem. I got to say, like, I mean, how could you miss someone with that sparkly a tux?
I was
It was illegal in Pakistan.
I was a cisgender child in third world country.
Not just the third world
I
country.
am
Say which
not
one it was.
the intended market
Say
for
which
Elton
one it
John.
was.
I am definitely the intended market for Eminem.
True, if Elton John ever stepped foot in your country, he'd be stoned to death.
No, he'd be thrown off a cliff because that is the prescribed punishment.
It's no less than
It would be good for him at this point. But
flies away on a broom.
yeah.
All right, so should we end the pod or should we do one more
What's the
segment?
time? No, we started late though, didn't we?
We started late.
Let's do it.
Do you want to, Jordan? Do you want to talk about how Albanese's 5.5% wage increase is not the end of the world?
No, you know what I want to talk about? We were trying to come up with a better slogan for the Liberal Party because I was saying that all those billboards plastered around going, it's not going to be easy under Albanese. I was saying that kind of looks like an ad for Anthony Albanese.
Yeah, that's. He doesn't look very
I tell you
flattering.
one
He
thing-
has a dollar sign. It looks like he's good with money.
doesn't
People
look
are
flattering.
noticing it.
Doesn't look flattering.
I was at this car mechanic, and I went into their reception. There was a TV playing in the background, which every 5 seconds was playing "It's Not Going to Be Easy Under Albanese," and every time that came on, this boomer white dude who was sitting there waiting for his car to get ready wouldn't look at the TV. Once that ad came on, he would look at TV, and once that ad came off, he would stop looking at it. So he was paying attention to that ad a lot.
Yeah, but was he just sitting there thinking, I think I'm going to vote for Albo?
That I don't know.
Because I don't think it's that harsh. I was saying that it should be something like just a picture of him, not the one where he's looking down, looking like he's sad. Get one of him looking shifty. And then you say something along the lines of, I don't know, weak leadership, untested leadership, not a leader. I don't know,
Weak.
something else. Yeah, just that. He said just make it a picture of Anthony Albanese, I don't know, trying to lift some weights.
Very. Anthony Albanese regularly skips leg day. How can he carry the country's economy? And he says he's going to give you a leg up. Fuck, we should be writing these.
I think we should too. I honestly think we could come up with something way more potent for Anthony. Guys, actually help us out in Twitch. What should the Liberal Party be running on to make sure that Anthony Albanese doesn't win? We haven't had enough Liberals.
Get involved.
Is there a picture
I need
with...
my superannuation.
Is there a shifty elbow picture? Because I don't think he looks shifty ever.
I bet you can find one immediately.
You know what? No, I think Ali's right. There is no shifty elbow pictures.
He's not Bill Shorten.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't look shifty. He's kind of just like... They got the one picture where he's like looking down and looks kind of fat. And it's like unflattering and it's like shit. It's a shit photo. But he doesn't...
Yeah, and it is a photo of when he was fat. It's not a modern photo.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, look at that. For Christ's sakes, just put that in black and white. That's horrifying.
Okay, that is pretty good.
They can't see it. Let me
Oh, sorry. Do it
Yeah,
again.
they
Do it
won't be
again.
able to see it
No, do it again.
No, do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
All right, hang on one sec.
There's a
can't.
paywall.
Are you going to be able to see this? All right, here we go. Well, I'll zoom in a bit.
I really want Albo to win just
There we
because.
go.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Way better.
Shifty
He
elbow.
looks shifty as.
And
It's a manic, evil laugh. This one.
But what about Ali McBeal in the
Look at him
background?
with his little turkey neck. Anthony Albanese.
That one's
Turkey.
That one's
Dude, what
really
about
good.
this? Good Prime Minister for Turkey, not good Prime Minister for Australia.
And he'd like Turkey because they said they'd
Oh, I
send
forgot
back
about
people
this. I brought this for you, Jordan.
in
I
coffins.
thought that you might like to get some reading. This is my electorate's Liberal candidate and her promises.
Beware, Jenny Ware.
Okay, so a thumb is running in Holsworthy.
Jenny Ware.
Vote for Jenny Ware is a vote for a stronger economy.
I love
I
that they
never
just-
heard the Liberals say that before.
I love that they just tell you how to vote. It's so patronising. Don't worry, you don't have to think for a second. Just do what we tell you. Like, doesn't that piss people off?
Nah, that tells them how to vote.
No, I think it makes
Oh, they like
a quote unquote a clear choice.
A clear choice.
What's
Well,
he saying? Who should you be voting for? Where's the how to vote card?
Yeah.
Can I see? What are the
Pass me that
preferences
one.
for it in Hughes?
ask me that one.
Okay, don't know who any of these people are. They're not telling us. Craig Kelly is number 3 on the preferences, of course.
I think the second is Liberal Democrat.
Yep.
Third is
UAP.
UAP. And Labour is lost.
I've got to say, it's a good card. Makes a lot of sense. The Australian Values Party. See, I told you, there's so many of these. Bring back Australia now. Traditional Australia. Australia, Australia.
God.
All right, should we call it a night?
Yes, but remember, everybody, I've rescinded all of my last 7 years of shillery and have seen the light. You should be voting for the West Australia Party, specifically if you're in Victoria. Good night, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Miss, do the hat thing again.
Bye.